Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, Wednesday morning, midweek hump day, April 28th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, and again, Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Meathead. Very happy and excited to join you as your co-pilot on this wonderful Wednesday morning.
You only agreed to join if I yelled out hump day.
Yeah, that was part of the stipulation.
Part of the stipulation. So is a stipulation a specialty match, or is a stipulation just a change in the rules?
You know what? We're going to have to wait and see when we have the official 2021 PWR draft.
Still working out the dates on those. Again, you are talking and listening to the winner of the 2020-2021 PWR draft, the man they call Meathead. As, you know, even though the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe tried to take it away from me, Christopher Daniels to the rescue, the fallen angel, my hero. Let's talk sponsors real quick. CollarandElbowBrand.com, saving you 10% on all the latest and greatest in wrestling gear using the promo code Linda K. That's K-A-Y, Linda K-A-Y. Get yourself 10% off of CollarandElbowBrand.com. Matthew Thomas, we've got a little bit to talk about. First off, what happened to Mark Henry? Where did the rest of him go? Mark Henry has dropped 80 pounds and is working towards one more match. According to his interview on the Hall of Fame podcast with Booker T, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry wants to have one more match and is in shape. Head on over to his Twitter feed, and there's a picture of him getting a shot of some placebos. And Mark Henry looking lean and mean. Your thoughts, Matthew Thomas?
I would not recognize Mark Henry if I did not know who that was. I mean, I'd say, yeah, that guy looks a little bit like Mark Henry in the face, but my goodness, it looks like a different person.
He looks good. I mean, holy smokes, that looks like a dude that can go and have a run right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now. So Mark Henry, lean and mean and ready to get back in the ring. Excited to see Mark Henry looking very fit, very healthy. Let's also talk about NXT from last night. Matthew Thomas, we've been calling for this for a little bit, and I feel that we might be getting it early. I think they're listening to the podcast. You know, you and I off air, we're going over the stats and the download numbers. And you guys, again, thank you for liking and subscribing, telling your friends, downloading wherever you download. We know you download an Apple Podcast, Spotify, all Stitcher, all the places that you go to listen and watch it, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere you're listening. We see the stats and we know that it's rising. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. But for those in WWE Creative that have been listening to the program, we said, this Cameron Grimes stuff, we need Ted DiBiase to show up. Matthew Thomas, Ted DiBiase was on the program last night.
1 week later, huh? 1 week later. It's interesting the way that correlates, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it could be our dear, close personal friend, the Hurricane, as well, maybe whispering in the right ears and, hanging out and checking it out, too. We don't know that, but I think it was also the writing was on the wall that he kept mentioning Ted DiBiase and he was going to be there. Let's talk about NXT from last night. And it opens up with a big match. Mercedes Martinez defeating Dakota Kai via disqualification. Raquel Gonzalez assaulted Martinez. Now, Mercedes Martinez was in Retribution. She said no, came back. There's been a lot of talk why she left Retribution. Maybe she saw that dumpster fire was ending soon. Came running right back to NXT. Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez, I have to apologize. I have trouble keeping the two of them apart. They're similar characters to me.
No, 100%. I interchange them quite consistently too, and it's.
I used to do the same with Dakota Kai, and she just got injured. I can't think of her name. Australian girl, real small.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you say that because I do as well, and I'm sure once we see them more frequently on TV, and hopefully in this program together, that will not be the case. But yeah, it's very interesting that you run into that as well.
Well, they did have a very solid match. I mean, let's not take anything from this match. Mercedes Martinez defeating Dakota Kai via the DQ, obviously, and Raquel Gonzalez assaulting Martinez. I think they're working towards the next takeover or special event on TV. I want to lead us towards Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher confronting the grizzled young veterans. Toothless Timmy is back in the building, and there's no better way to start a feud than to take off your boots and beat somebody over the head with them.
I think there have been quite a few feuds throughout human history that have started that way. Quite a few wars, possibly.
So you're saying the Hatfields and the McCoys started off with throwing out muddy boots at each other?
Yeah. That's pretty much, I think if you check the historical record, you're going to find that accurate.
It's funny, on any other given podcast that we work on, usually you can go 2-3 minutes and not stop. And I'm looking for the name of that damn wrestler, and you've been giving me 10-second responses.
Yeah, if you'd like for me to tell you a little story, I'll be happy to. But, that's the thing about this Wednesday show. It's very
Casey
direct.
Cantanzero. That's who I was thinking of.
Mission accomplished.
There you go. Dakota Kai, Casey Cantanzero. I cannot keep the two of them separate.
Now you will.
Zendaya Raymer defeats Tony Storm thanks to an assist from Zoe Stark. Zendaya Raymer is pretty much new on the scene, and she gets a big kind of profile win over Tony Storm.
And heck of a shooting star press to finish this match.
Yeah.
I was getting little 1, 2, 3 Kid Razor vibes from this.
Absolutely. Bronson Reed defeating Austin Theory. Almost said Theory. Austin Theory to earn his NXT North American title opportunity again. Dexter Lumis came out, and he's still smitten with Indy Hartwell.
And what I like, you're going to get to it in a minute, but Dexter Lumis is just permeating the NXT brand. There was also another segment a little bit later that would basically result because of Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, but I want to segue off and talk about my man, Cameron Grimes. Couple vignettes off to the side earlier in the day. Cameron Grimes is going to spend some money in the jewelry store. Now, Matthew, I want you to say the line because you were so smitten over that line. And Cameron Grimes went and got a watch, but what sound did it make?
It didn't go tick-tock. He wanted to go tick-tock. It didn't go tick-tock.
We're going to talk about Cameron Grimes here for a second. He finally gets the watch. He says, go ahead and just charge me for that. I'm going to wear this thing out. I'll tell you what, that's a good-looking watch. Then another arm comes in with a better-looking watch, and it's a voice. It's a voice that says, that's a great-looking watch, but it's not $1 million watch. We had talked about it. It happened. The $1 Million Man foiling Cameron Grimes again.
Yeah, and Cameron Grimes absolutely thriving in this $1 million Cameron Grimes gimmick. It's amazing, and I think prior to this, you would never have expected this to be a gimmick that Cameron Grimes ran with. But my goodness, the guy is so entertaining week to week, and this not even an in-ring segment to me was the highlight of the show last night. The 2 segments of Cameron Grimes in the jewelry store, and it stole the show.
Imperium defeats Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. Now, Killian Dane is into this tag team, apparently, with Drake Maverick.
Yeah, I think it's a nice story there. It's going to be interesting to see how this compares to what they're doing over on the Raw brand with RK Bro, another kind of strange bedfellows tag team.
Yeah, I think you probably giggle over the fact that you said bedfellows, and
no. It's it's an analogy. It's a term. Okay, do people say?
Yeah, bedfellows. The Way brutally attacked Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, and this is going to set up a big match. And you know what else we got set up too? Isaiah Swerve Scott challenging Leon Ruff to a Falls Count Anywhere match next week on NXT. Isaiah Swerve Scott, his stock is on the rise.
Yeah, and I think this match is going to be outstanding. The last 2 times these guys have gotten together, they've been great matches, and this. With the stipulation and with these guys really getting in a rhythm and, working together, I think this is going to be an outstanding match. I would hope this closes the show and goes on last.
Can we talk about this Adam Cole interview? And is NXT just that short on announcers that they're getting somebody from ESPN and Sports Illustrated to interview Adam Cole at a poolside?
Is that the case? Or, WWE's relationship with anything that they feel like is a little whiff of mainstream publicity. And I think the way I viewed it was, hey, this is somebody with another major outlet, and this gives us more credibility, so we're going to milk it for what it's worth.
The Adam Cole interview, I enjoyed it. I even liked Kyle O'Reilly watching it back at the Capitol Wrestling Center and just keeping an eye on it because I don't think they're done. Yeah. We don't know what's going to happen with Adam Cole, and we have not heard anything that's going to be happening with the WWE as far as a brand draft. The brand split, again, these separate shows of Raw and SmackDown, is clearly not working again. Yeah. And they've gone through this about 3-4 times now, right? Where they've just split them off and you're Raw exclusive, you're SmackDown exclusive. It's not working, but we do get a little bit excited around the draft.
What are we? Are we about like 5 or so years into the last brand extension? Because it went away for a while. And then
you mean iteration back. Number 3?
Yeah. I think we're about half a decade into it. What's so crazy though is, I think in order for the brand extension to work, you have to have your brand specific pay-per-views. If not, you're still.
That was killing their buys too. But now that we are in the network era,
and what happens here is, if you have brand specific shows, but you still have your double branded pay-per-views, the cool thing about the brand specific pay-per-views was you had stuff that was quote unquote undercard that you could actually develop into full-fledged pay-per-view matches. When you do not have those specific brand pay-per-views, you never get that. So it's still the same type of booking. Your undercard stuff is still going to get shuffled to the back or pre-show at best, right? And you never fully get to realize those feuds.
And that's the thing, because, what works is putting all the big names on the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views have been fine. We've actually enjoyed the pay-per-views over the last couple of years, but it's because it's been dual brand. You get all the big names, all that, and then, anything that would have been, say, mid-card or, lower card is, as you just said, it is stuck on the pre-show or it's on the SmackDown before.
And my goodness, I would be so fine with, keep the IC title, keep the UC title.
Keep the US, the undercard title.
Yeah, keep the US title. Those are separate belts with separate lineages, but consolidate women's tag, consolidate tags, and consolidate the WWE title. I think we can say bye-bye to the Universal title because it's been around for a handful of years. Give us one major title.
The Universal title carries the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship from WCW.
Is it supposed to?
It's supposed to.
Is that official? Oh.
Because remember,
I don't know that I buy that. I buy the big gold belt carrying that lineage, not necessarily Universal title.
But that was the handoff. That title came out when Triple H handed that. I believe it was to Randy Orton.
See, I take the Universal title to the lineage traced back to Finn Balor. Finn Balor, then Seth Rollins. That's where I started.
Okay. All right. Well, then that means the World Heavyweight Championship, the real championship belt, is gone forever. We're talking the NWA Championship and then the WCW Championship. That is gone. Now, they tried carrying the NWA Championship over to TNA because, wasn't Ken Shamrock the first ever TNA champion, but he was also the NWA champion.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot the NWA TNA lineage there.
So, who knows? All right, so as I said, the Way brutally attacking Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. It's going to be a match next week as well for the tag team belts. Again, Adam Cole, I just find it funny. Just like from Monday Night Raw, where we had Braun Strowman calling Drew McIntyre kid, which is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Listen here, kid. 20 years of experience, and you're calling me kid?
Yeah, that's a phrase you use.
Is Adam Cole now going by the Panama City Playboy as well? Is that a new ad to Adam Cole, baby?
It's got a fancy ring to it, doesn't it?
Does have a fancy ring to it. Let's talk main event. Legado del Fantasma defeating the team of Kushida and MSK in a 6-man tag match. Your thoughts on this big team, match? Legado del Fantasma holding all the gold at the end. The Cruiserweight Championship and the Tag Team Championship. The champions losing to Del Fantasma.
I think it was what needed to close the show. If you look at the card from top to bottom, this was probably the highest stakes match of the night, and I think it showcased everybody there. So it was effective. I still walked away from this show feeling like we're missing some major star power. Most notably,
one of the biggest stars had an interview last night, and his name was L.A. Knight. Yeah,
he did, didn't he? He did, and that was a nice segment. But we are 2 weeks now without any sight of our NXT champion. What's
right.
going on with that?
Matter of fact, the guy that he beat had TV time last night as he was vacationing in Mexico.
Yeah, but not even. I mean, we had him referenced, in Adam Cole's interview. We had him referenced with Cameron Grimes in the jewelry shop, but really not much discussion from the announce team on the current champion or the whereabouts of. Just very strange booking because he was out with injury prior to regaining the title, and so he's gone. He's back. He wins the title. He's on the following week, and then we've seen no sight of him since. Just a very unusual situation that's going on with Karrion Kross here, and I don't know if there's something we're not aware of that hasn't broken per se, but just very unusual not to have your brand new champion on the show for 2 consecutive weeks right after winning the title.
All right, not even a promo.
Nothing.
Off to the side, no video package, nothing there. I have a question to ask you about, and I feel like this is, it's
not one of those personal questions, is it?
No, it's not a personal question that I would say for air. The Team Everrise. What are your thoughts on the Team Everrise? They had a little interview segment that happened right after LA Knight.
I don't know what to make of them.
I do. Don't they feel a little buckish to you?
Yeah, good point. Good point. They're promoting some Saturday morning show or something now. Yeah, now that's a really, really good point. Yep.
They're their own people. They're their own thing. But with the story coming out this last week that the Young Bucks said how much Triple H and WWE had offered for them to come over and they turned it down, it just had me thinking, boy, those guys look like a WWE version of the Young Bucks.
Do we go a little quasi fake Razor and fake Diesel here?
I hope not. Please, no.
The funny thing is, man, I think there's so much nostalgia for that in 2021 that it might actually work.
I don't want it to work. I just don't want to see it.
Like you do the opposite of the Young Bucks. You call them like the old deer.
Oh, boy.
I would enjoy that.
All right. Tonight we've got Dynamite, and it's a Wednesday night, but it is possible that may not happen for much longer. There is news out of the sports world that TBS and TNT, the Turner Sports Network, has purchased the rights to broadcast NHL hockey, and Hockey Night of the Week has always been historically on Wednesdays. Is there a chance that the Turner Broadcasting Networks, the Turner Sports, say, you know what, we're keeping it. Hockey is Wednesday nights. What happens to AEW?
It's so nice now because everybody has their own unique night of the week. You don't have to watch anything head to head. You don't have to figure out what you're going to watch first on the DVR. And they move to one other night. That's not the case. Then they're going head to head with somebody. I don't know. I know we were talking off air about possibly Turner. I mean, they've got a sister station that could potentially be the remedy there.
Right. Could be TBS.
Yeah. You know what? I think the happy medium is if you do go to TBS Meathead, you've got to start it at 5 past the hour.
Oh, yeah. If we're going TBS, you're from Richmond. I used to love watching the Superstation WTBS. I mean, they are the ones that created that five past the
Mhm.
hour gimmick,
Mhm.
because they are the ones that, and then Eric Bischoff even made it more so after that too. They're the ones that created the wrestling overrun.
Yeah, yeah, very, very true. And well, Nitro, they
Nitro,
started.
there was a lot of times Eric went backwards and would start the show sometimes at 10 minutes to the hour.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was going after. Nitro, I remember those. Coming on a little bit beforehand, or at least a cut from a commercial. To
Yeah.
live what was going on there. So
Bischoff was an
absolutely.
innovator.
Yeah, I think if you go TBS, you got to go '05, or you just take it to a different level and just put it on Turner Classic Movies.
Oh boy. I mean, True TV is an option. They use True TV every year for the NCAA tournament.
Dude, how about this? How about they just go super, super creative and you go to Turner Classic and it is the only wrestling show that's in black and white.
All right, enough out of you. We're done with that.
It's ideas,
AEW
man.
tonight. AEW Dynamite tonight again. Available on Wednesday nights, but for how much longer? Who knows? Tomorrow morning we will talk again with Matthew Thomas one more time. We'll talk about everything Dynamite. So for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man, the Gold Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.